to look at that, and if there are no changes, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as written.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Thank you, John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. So the agenda is approved. General public comment. Hearing none, I will move on to item number 3, presentation of the 2019 audit for approval by Chadwick, Stein, Kirchner, and Davis.
Yes, sir. I sent over in the board packet the audit that we had received that is finished. Did you guys all have an opportunity to take a look at that?
I did.
Okay. As she had said in our meeting 2 weeks ago, there was nothing that stuck out. Everything was pretty straightforward. She sent over our letter. And that if you had any additional questions to let her know, and she'd be happy to answer them.
Bottom of page 5, please.
Okay. Okay.
So that paragraph above there, the economic factors and the 2020 budget, that last sentence, federal mineral lease is estimated to increase by 10% for the 2019-2020 year fulfillment.
Yes.
Federal mineral lease. I think we're lacking federal mineral lease revenue, or I don't, that sentence doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. My estimated guess is that disbursement revenue check is what she meant with that, but I will have her clarify that.
And we need to get this approved. Isn't that correct, Chris?
Yep, that's right. If you're satisfied with the content of the audit and you don't have any unresolved questions, my recommendation is that you move to approve it, and then we will forward it on to the state auditor as required by the audit law.
Is there a motion to that effect?
I would move we accept the budget, the audit with the correction that you noted, Craig.
Second.
Thank you, John. Moved and seconded that we approve the amended report and submit it to the state in a timely fashion.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 4, discussion and possible approval of change in City of Grand Junction Police Department grant contract for the spring of 2020. Dusty.
Yes, sir. Mr. Canton is on with us along with Chief Shoemaker. They had applied for the spring grant cycle and they were awarded in May. A partial grant award of $150,000, and we submitted the grant contract, and Mr. Canton had replied that they had some changes that they would like to make with the contract. So Mr. Canton, I will turn it over to you or Chief Shoemaker if you'd like to explain that.
I can start off, Chief, and thank you, Board, and thank you for the support, and the grant opportunity makes a big difference. And quite frankly, we would have not moved forward, particularly given our financial situation. With COVID, the project would have been canceled if we had not received the grant dollars. But given the grant dollars, then the other challenge is finding the matching funds, which we will do and can do. But we just asked for a little bit more time in order to program out that project. So we started off with a little bit of a suggestion of a time frame modification, and that seemed supportable. And then we changed, I think, the end date, and maybe that's where it maybe pushed it a little too far, brought on some more questions. And so we're certainly amenable to the conversation, and any parameters that are placed on it by the board. It's really just bringing the matching dollars. And we, more specifically for 2020, we had stopped all capital expenditures unless really emergency or critical. So then what we're really doing is programming it in 2021, which we can do and will do. And then given the delayed start, then we were concerned that we might be out of contract on the finish. So then it was really a suggestion, can we just really change those bookends? But it's needed project. We greatly appreciate the support, and just looking for that time frame.
Thank you, Greg. Anything else from the city right now?
I'll just jump in very quickly. I can't add too much more than what City Manager Caton said, but from our stance, we kind of had it in a two-phase project. It's certainly doable as a three-phase project, just in a different time frame with each phase. We can start next month and working on HESCO barriers, which are the safety barriers between the ranges, and the dirt work and the remediation and those types of things. So we have the work. It's just a matter of, because we're all under this situation with COVID and how our budgets are affected. But as the city manager has already said, I think we're just pushing out a little bit further. But this project, especially now more than ever, is really an essential one. And we absolutely appreciate the support and your willingness to listen. So thank you.
So to make sure I understand this, you're not asking for an indefinite, just recess, if you will, on this project. What you're saying is it just needs to be, you intend to move forward with it, and you intend to move forward with it this year. You just need an extension.
Yes, sir. That's
Yes.
great.
Okay.
Did you say, Mr. Chairman, that they're going to start in the spring of 21?
No, they're going to start, they just said that they're going to start this project in 2020.
Oh, in 2020?
Yes.
I thought you said spring, and I thought that doesn't make sense, because I thought you said 2020.
That's what the
I say a
email
lot
was.
of things that don't make sense, John.
That was what?
I said, I say a lot of things that don't make sense.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you gentlemen understand this. This is our dilemma. You know, the way, and it's certainly not your fault, the way that the application was designed or the verbiage within it. But that matching, whether or not you have that matching funding, is a big deal with us scoring these. And because of this, we've actually changed our application to make it go from a scoring question to a qualifier, or I should say we're in the process of changing that, for the simple reason that if we award a grant and then we're subsequently notified that the successful applicant needs to, for matching reasons, needs to change something, if you were number 2 on our scoring list, you could have a case for saying, wait a minute, if something changed, we had the matching. And so we just got to make sure that we like your project. It scored very highly. We just got to make sure that from the Federal Mineral Leasing District standpoint that we're doing this correctly. And so that's the question. That's why we want to make sure we get this right.
That makes a lot of sense. And so let me say a little bit here that maybe can give some comfort to that situation. As Chief referenced there, how about if we start the project this fall? That will initiate the expenditure of those dollars because they're already authorized. So that would initiate the spending. We would certainly not be completed with the project in 2020. And then those dollars, as all of our budgets, they really just roll then to 2021, and then the project is wrapped up in 2021.
Okay, so start in the fall of 2020 and wrap it up in 2021.
Yes, sir. That sound good, Chief? We can do that?
Yep, absolutely, no problem.
So what is your projected completion date?
If we
Chief, I'll
start,
defer that to you.
yeah, fair enough. If we started within the next month to month and a half, we can be finished by the end of calendar year 2021.
By when?
By the end of the calendar year of 2021.
Okay.
Okay, board members, any further questions of these gentlemen?
As long as we can get this wrapped up in 2021, I'm a lot more comfortable with this.
I just have one thing to say. The original contract that we sent out would have it starting, the start time or the allowance would be May 2020 with an end date of May 2022. Are the terms of that original contract that we had sent over, is that okay? Or would you still like the date shifted? Because it seems like that almost falls within the parameters of what we originally had agreed upon.
Are you asking the city or the board?
Both of you, everybody.
You should say y'all.
Y'all, okay. I'm from Iowa. You don't say that.
I guess I can jump in and certainly we felt, regardless of the situation, we would certainly be finished by the original contract date of May of 2022. We think we can certainly get it finished by the end of calendar year 2021, however, I believe. And I defer over to City Manager Caton to confirm that.
Oh, it just seems like just a little bit of an adjustment there. And just given COVID, the delay, the start date's obviously been delayed. But then given what we're hearing from the board here on the comfort level in wrapping up in 2021 versus the May of 2022, we're comfortable in actually moving that closer per the board's direction.
Thank you.
So I can circulate a revised agreement with the end of calendar year 2021 end date for the grant. That's not a problem, and that's well within our established time frame for the traditional grant program.
Thank you. Board members, comments, questions?
Well, I mean, I guess personally, if you're going to get it started, and there's always things that can happen, whether it's weather or who knows what with the conditions in the country, but I'd really like to see it get wrapped up in the year 21, and because it's a pretty good sized project and there's all kinds of unknown obstacles heading our way from somewhere. I know that for certain.
Okay.
But I mean, I sympathize with the city. This is it's a good opportunity to get this grant money, and you don't want to jeopardize that or have it get to the point where it's so drug out that we can't live with that either. So I think it would be a good idea, and especially if you could shoot for the end of this, or just by December of 21. I mean, I would think that would be enough time to complete it, barring some really unforeseen circumstances.
And Chris, the key concern with this is we had to make sure that something was started in 2020, or they needed to have a start date, or we needed to make sure the funds were available in 2020. Is that correct, Chris?
No, I think the original thing was that the traditional grant program has a 2-year expenditure window, and the city told us after they were awarded that they couldn't complete it within that 2-year window. They wanted to extend it by a few months to August of 2022. But we've now learned today that they actually won't need to go that far. So what they're telling you is this grant is compliant with the 2-year program and they can expend the money within the time frame that we would have already anticipated. So I don't see any problems from our end.
Just to be clear, so what you're saying is as long as there's clarifying the contract between the district and the city reflects that the project will be started in 2020 and completed by December 31st of 2021. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
Yep.
Is that agreeable to you gentlemen with the city?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any more discussion, or is there a motion to that effect?
I would move that we go ahead and approve this grant application with the correction of completion at the end of 2021.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. So we have a deal. Gentlemen, thank you very much for helping us with this. And we look forward to the completion of the project and being invited to the ribbon cutting.
Most definitely.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you for
guys.
the support.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Too. So the last item is review and possible approval of grant application changes.
Yes, sir. This meeting's going a lot faster than the last one. All right. That was management letter. We went through and made those changes that you guys had asked for at the last meeting. I struggled a little bit with the wording because Craig, you had said that you wanted the funding question to be a no-go in the eligibility questions. And so I was not really sure where you guys wanted that to fall and how, if it was worded legally or correctly, how you guys wanted it. So I sent that over and it was highlighted. And then I also put in that last question, Craig, that you had said that you would like to have in there. I don't know why I cannot find it right now. I'll check it. So
I don't remember ever getting that, Dusty.
what? I did not send it over. Hang on. Okay. Spring grant application review in the board packet. It's right here.
I must not have drug it across before I deleted it then. I apologize.
It's okay. It's a Word document. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, there's the last document on that email she sent us.
Okay. I only got a quick question. I'm almost done here.
Okay. So this is what we application. There you go. Okay. So this is after the discussion. This right here, excluding that we moved it up into the eligibility questions under the traditional grant section. We changed it to say failure to answer these questions could result in your application being rejected. And it says excluding these funds sought in this grant application, do you have all funds needed for the completion of the project? Please provide all details to the sources of funding for the completion of the project. If the answer is no, we will unfortunately be unable to accept your grant application for this grant cycle.
That's a qualifier.
Okay. And then
Just a second. Board members, Chris, anybody want to weigh in on that?
I think that's what you guys asked for at the last meeting. So that it really is just moving that question up into the qualifying section.
I think that covers it.
I like it.
okay.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. And so then the last question, Craig, that you had brought up that said that it would help you was that I'll change it under sustainability. It says if your organization is not successful in securing grant money for your project from the Mesa County Federal Mineral Lease District this cycle, what is the future of this project? And how does this project fit into your organization's long-term capital improvements plan? Because the discussion went, sometimes it seems like these projects are on a wing and a prayer. They're just kind of maybe feeling out to see if anybody's going to give them money for the project. And if it doesn't happen, then, you know, it was just a shot. They were going to take a shot at it. You guys wanted to know, you know, would they just keep coming at it? Was it an essential project that they absolutely needed to have? So that was the question that was created.
Yeah, I think I think you did well with it. My initial reaction is, though, it looks to me like we've got 2 questions there. Maybe we have a number 6.
That's kind of what I was thinking
It
too.
talks about the how that fits into their capital improvements plan, and just leave that number 5 as right where it's at to answer that.
I would agree. Then they can, a lot of times when we have a combined question, they just answer one of them
Yeah,
and don't answer
Okay.
the other one. So,
so make that into 6.
I
Okay.
like that, Dusty. John?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. So I will take this one here and make this number 6.
Chris, you have any issues with that?
No, not at all. I think it is 2 combined questions, and breaking it out, you're more likely to get meaningful information.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So this one becomes number 6. Ta-da! Magical.
Magic.
Magic. That was quick. So there'll be 6 questions. On the mini grant, when you go down for the mini grant questions, we don't have the qualifying question of funding because it's a mini grant. Did you guys want that in there or not? Just to double check, because I don't. I actually have that down here as a funding question.
But I do like that the number 5 from the traditional grants. I think that I like that. What's the future of it if you don't get funded?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it should be in there.
It's down here. Do you want me to do the you want them to have the capital improvements question as well? We're here.
I would say no on that, because with the mini grant, there's not much of a capital improvement that you can do with that money.
Right.
I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are typically smaller, maybe not even capitalized projects, but that's.
So these aren't long thought out projects. So,
Okay.
yeah, I agree.
Okay. Then I will remove this one. And we'll leave that there. I will fix that. I will rework the spacing. But that's it. Those were the changes that we had. So
I like it. Do we need a motion to approve this, Chris?
This is sort of a purely in-house administrative thing. I think the main thing is Dusty wanted to run this by you and so that we could use this for the fall grants. If you want to, you can, but it's not something formal that we need to, formally approve the content. Because I assume that Dusty may want to tinker with some other things too that may not be major to the application. So it's up to you guys.
But then we'd have a record of when they look at the bylaws last, and here it is, July, whatever, of 2020, we did some minor changes or whatever you want to call it, but at least it was looked at.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to approve it, that's up to you.
Is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve or amend the bylaws as were presented today.
application.
The grant application.
The grant applications,
Thank you.
not the bylaws,
Second.
I'm sorry, grant applications.
No, you're good.
I'll second that as long as we aren't changing the bylaws.
Moved and seconded that we approve the changes that we've just looked at in the grant application, both the traditional and the mini. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Perfect.
That takes us to item 6, unscheduled business.
Nothing.
I have a question
Nothing for me.
for the chairman of the board. When is he going to fix this virus catastrophe stuff, and when you're going to wrap it up?
Well, if I could,
I think the county commissioners could fix it all if they just put their mind to it.
We don't seem to have enough authority. That's why I was going to kind of move down to the banking level, up to the banking level, whichever.
Oh,
I can tell you one thing, no matter which way we go, it's either early on it was, you're stupid, you're going to kill us all. You're stupid, I want to go back to work, so take your choice. And then it's gotten worse.
It's just they're yeah, I agree with you. It's just it's tough finding the right answer. We're so tired of taking care of customers and our drive ups. I can't even describe how tired of that we are. And we got some people at home that really want to get back in here, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. Yeah.
I can't imagine, Craig. I'm really missing banks here the last couple months.
Exactly. But I do appreciate the question, John.
Okay.
All right.
You never know until you ask, John. He could have very well had the answer.
Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Then, I would think our administrator would be able to add to the answers you did have too.
Oh, you don't want to hear my answers. I've got some. Nobody wants to hear them.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thanks, guys.
it. Something
Thanks
to
a lot.
Yeah.
See you next
Have a
time.
good week.
All right. Bye.